Hey guys, Abby here, and I'm going to talk to you today a little bit about coconut oil. So, not just about coconut oil itself, but about coconut oil and coffee. So, a lot of you have asked about what I do with my coffee in the morning, and what I do is I take a tablespoon of coconut oil and I whip that with a cup of coffee in the blender for a few pulses and just get it nice and creamy like a latte. So, let's take a look at coconut oil. So here's my coconut oil that I use, and coconut oil for a tablespoon of coconut oil has 120 calories and 14 grams of saturated fat. So if you didn't know, coconut oil is 90% saturated fat. So it's a lot of saturated fat, and most people think that saturated fat's not a great thing for you, but actually all the research today shows that saturated fat can actually benefit your body. So saturated fat is a good thing, and the saturated fat in coconut oil is different than other fats that we have in our diet. And that's because coconut oil is medium chain triglycerides. And that kind of fat is metabolized in our body differently and can be a quick source of energy, which can be really beneficial for you depending on how you use it. So for me, I have coconut oil in my coffee first thing in the morning, and then a little later on in the morning, I have a superfood nutrition shake. I personally drink Shakeology, and if you have questions about that, you can let me know. But why I mention this is because whenever you're going to take something like coconut oil and put it in your coffee, I don't want you to call that a meal. So there is a trend that's bulletproof coffee. That's 2 tablespoons of grass-fed butter, 2 tablespoons of coconut oil, and 2 cups of coffee, and you use that in a replacement as your breakfast. So that's 52 grams of fat roundabout in your diet first thing in the morning for breakfast. And a reason why I want to mention this is because for some women, that might be 100% of your fat allotment for the day, and that might not be the best thing for you. So I'm not saying that bulletproof coffee is a terrible thing and that it's not beneficial for some people. There have been some people that I know personally that have really benefited from bulletproof coffee. But what I want you to think about is just make sure you get a lipid profile in advance. Make sure you know your blood cholesterol levels, and you just keep an accurate record of that so that you know if bulletproof coffee is helping you or potentially harming you. So what I do is I kind of do a spin off that by having just a tablespoon of coconut oil in my coffee and then having a nutrient-dense meal later. By taking that bulletproof coffee and using that as a meal, you're kind of getting rid of like a third of your nutrients for the day. If you have 3 meals a day, coconut oil, it is beneficial for some things in our health. But if we take a look at this nutrition label, there's nothing else in there except fat. It's all fat. So we want to make sure we're still getting, dense nutrients from whole foods, which is why I bring that up. So that's what I personally do in my coffee, is a tablespoon of oil in it. So when we talk about coconut oil and we talked about medium chain triglycerides, how it's beneficial for your body, I also want to note that a reason that maybe you wouldn't want to try out bulletproof coffee or my version of bulletproof coffee is if you're somebody that has a high carb diet, you don't really want to combine that with high fats. So lots of fats and lots of carbs together is a real formula for fat storage in the female body. And I wouldn't recommend that if that's something that you're not balancing out in your life currently. If you do eat, a pretty clean diet, like 80% whole foods, and you want to add some healthy fat into your diet, that can be really beneficial. And that can be something that maybe you want to consider. Regardless, there's only a few people out there that I really think bulletproof coffee is going to have a great benefit for the general population. I think that having, a tablespoon of healthy saturated fat in their diet with their coffee would be an excellent addition, but maybe not the extra 3 tablespoons that are going to be in that bulletproof coffee. So if you have questions about this, please let me know. If you enjoy this content, please like, comment, or share so I know to share more in the future. Thanks, and have a great